somewhere between 8 and 7 is where the borderline into theta starts, and that's where dreaming sleep takes place. That's where imagination happens. That's where all creativity takes place. So now all of a sudden I realized that they told us that, this beta, alpha, theta, delta house did not have a basement, and I just discovered a basement.
Oh, you did.
And
sub-basements, right?
And now I'm wondering, I wonder if there's sub-basements, attics, right? I mean, that's rough now. I mean, so I started exploring what I called epsilon 2, which was 1/2 the frequency of epsilon 1, right? So the lowest delta is 1 brain pulse every 2 seconds. Epsilon 1 would be 1 brain pulse every 2 to 4 seconds. And epsilon 2 would be 1 brain pulse every 4 to 8 seconds, extremely slow. And then just when I'm wondering to myself, I wonder if there is an attic in this house faster than beta. They discovered it. It's called gamma at 40 hertz. And they could only discover that through open brain surgery by accident, because the faster the brain waves go, the lower their amplitude goes. And the slower they go, the bigger the amplitude gets.
Right.
So at 30 to 35 hertz beta, you can barely pick it up because the amplitude is so low, it's having a hard time getting through the skull. Mm-hmm. And at 40 hertz gamma, the amplitude is too small to penetrate the skull, so nobody could ever discover it. So in this case, they've got open brain surgery with the electrodes right on the brain. The EEG electrodes, and we're picking up directly from the brain tissue all kinds of exotic frequencies that nobody had ever seen before. 40 hertz, 100 hertz, 200 hertz. My news feeds in the last 6 months have seen 500 and 600 hertz and 2500 hertz.
Whoa.
So now I know those are there, but I haven't incorporated that as an exploration yet, but it's on my book.
I will be a guinea pig for it, Dr.
So eventually I started to name those because I seem to be the only person experimenting with them as far as high-level meditation enhancement tools. Gamma, I was the first person to do experiments with gamma. I was the first person to produce a gamma brainwave entrainment soundtrack for the general market, the gamma meditation system. I was the first to do explorations with brainwave entrainment soundtracks into 100 hertz and 200 hertz, which I called hyper gamma and lambda. Then the Dalai Lama did this research project at the University of Wisconsin in 2001, taking these meditators who had been meditating for 30 years with this Tibetan Buddhist technique, EEG brain mapping computers and fMRI machines. And what did they see? Massive amplitudes of gamma. And the experience, empathy for all living things. So now we know that this particular type of Tibetan Buddhist meditation technique yields this empathy thing, this universal empathy thing is associated with it. The weird thing, though, that nobody seemed to notice was they're talking about high amplitudes of gamma. And from theology, that's not possible. That the faster the brain frequencies, the lower the amplitude by definition. And so when they're talking about high amplitude gamma that could penetrate the skull and be picked up by regular EEG, nobody seemed to notice that was a remarkable thing. And you can't have high amplitude gamma because gamma has to be lower amplitude by definition. Is why nobody could ever discover it before, because the amplitude was. So what is this where's the extra energy coming from to generate these high amplitude gamma frequencies? And the obvious answer to that is that gamma somehow connects the brain to external physical energy sources in the universe, that we have the ability with a certain brain state to connect to universal energy sources that are unlimited. That means that you would potentially be able to generate any amplitude you want. And that may point a little bit of a picture towards the mystery of what would 100 hertz be, or 200 hertz? What does that even mean? What kind of meditation would that be? how, these Tibetan monks are melting the snow in the Himalayas around them as they meditate outside, that you would have an energy source that would be unlimited to raise your body temperature or increase the amplitude of any brain waves, or these kind of things is like science fiction,
Right.
but it's physical, it's measurable, it's scientific, it's EEG. We're seeing it.
Well, and to that point, Dr. Jeff, everybody who's watching this in India, they're very familiar with the siddhis, right? So things like
Yeah.
telepathy,
Yeah.
levitation,
Powers, yogic powers.
relocation, all of these things. So what I'd like to do, because I definitely think that, okay, everybody out there, I want you to type second episode in the comments of this, because I really want to have you back on to have this is just absolutely fascinating. I can listen to you for the next 45 years of my life at least, and we'll never even cover the same topic twice. I
Let
guarantee.
me just say one thing is that
Yeah.
I know that the people in this broadcast are meditating with pyramids, and that is a sacred geometry
Yes.
shape. And now getting into sacred geometry is a whole different thing. And I've done a significant amount of work with that as far as mathematically and precisely translating different sacred symbols into sound, like the Sri Yantra or
Yes.
the Chartres Cathedral Labyrinth. And the pyramid is another shape that could be translated into a sound. So that could all be incorporated into the same sort of thing to accentuate what's happening and why you would be meditating inside of a pyramid, because of the geometry involved. But that geometry has got mathematics, and mathematics have sound.
Absolutely. So to that end, I think that we have a research project on our hands. So everybody out there, if you would like to step into this world of a very specifically and intentionally created binaural beat, brainwave entrainment soundtrack with the scientific sounds of Dr. Jeff that is specifically a pyramid, please type a pyramid sound in the comments, because I would love to have everybody be able to experience this and see what we can do and have this be an offering that everybody can go and get. But what I wanted to ask you a quick question, because right there, I have a special story that I wanted to share with you for the first time because it just happened, as well as everybody out there. What is right below epsilon 2? Can you explain a little bit about that part?
Yeah, in 2001, they discovered a new brain frequency, the slowest brain frequency ever discovered, called the default mode network. They discovered it on fMRI. It's 4 zones in the brain, one here, one at the back, and 2 on the sides, that are in a tight synchronicity with each other, exhibiting this extremely slow brain frequency, one brain pulse every 10 to 20 seconds. And so I realized that would have, for me, been epsilon 3, because epsilon 2 is every 4 to 8 seconds. And I'm already wondering if there's a sub basement. And it turns out, yes, that's so. They discovered it, the sub basement of one brain pulse every 10 to 20 seconds. I've actually used that to explore deeper into regions I call iota, brain pulse every 20 to 40 seconds and 40 to 80 seconds, iota 1 and 2. And then it turned out there was a news report that came out that said there's a mysterious earth pulse of one pulse every 26 seconds, which is iota 1. It's the biome. It's meditating and syncing up with the global biome on the planet. But the default mode network, these 4 zones, are in this tight synchronicity at this super slow brain frequency. And it turns out that if those 4 zones are desynchronized to any amount, it's every neurological condition you've ever heard of. ADD, ADHD, dyslexia, autism, PTSD, depression, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, all of these diseases have this desynchronizing of the 4 zones. However, when I started using that clinically and in training the brain waves to this default mode network pattern, I realized that when you use binaural beats to create the pulse, it causes synchronicity of the hemispheres.
Oh, wow.
All of a sudden, that's one of the findings that the research has been shown with these high-level meditators, and all of a sudden you can do it at will. All you have to have is binaural beats and headphones, and it causes this phenomenon. And I
Now, I'm gonna
realized,
sorry, I had to cut you off, but default mode network of all your different brainwave frequencies that you have offered and that I've experienced, and I'm well into your program as far as different brainwave frequencies for my specific neurology. Default mode network is still my favorite. And I have a story to share. I'd love to share
oh,
this with
oh,
you because it's about your work. And this happens to be for one of my private students that I had a couple days ago. Just had a lesson. And at the end, I was like, okay, well, I would like to let her experience this because the track is called Beyond on your store, which I'm going to have a link to that, everybody, in this at the bottom of this description. Go to that link, search for Beyond if you want to have, well, this was her experience. I'll just put it that way. So I have her sit and I have her start breathing and have her close her eyes. And just like we do in PSSM, we sit quietly and we just focus on our breath. In about 15 seconds, she started crying uncontrollably and she just kept wiping the tears away. And I'm just like, okay, breathe into it. She just kept wiping more and more tears away. And I was thinking, wow, did this stir up some kind of a psychological thing she's releasing now? And it's what, and it, I could only play it, Dr. Jeff, for like 2 minutes. And then I said, okay, I think we're done. She's not staying in the state. What happened was within about 15 seconds of turning this on, and I kid you not, these are exactly her account. This woman has worked very closely with one of the most famous meditation gurus in the world for the past 4 years. And this was the first experience she has had like this, where she had this flash of white light in her visual screen. And she said, I saw divinity. I saw God. And then my mom and dad, who died years ago, they came to me and they told me how much they love me. And that's why I started crying. And I'm like,
wow,
holy crap.
wow,
Wow. And so it's just,
wow.
that was literally 15 seconds of your work, of default mode network. So everybody out there, the track is called Beyond. It will help you go beyond. And we're almost out of time, Dr. Jeff, but what would you like to leave everybody with before I have you back on next time? Because there has to be a next time. This is just like cliffhanger for everybody out there in the meditation world. If you're not on the edge of your seat going, what else is this man going to share with us? Then I would ask you to ask yourself, what am I doing?
For me, it's a rising tide of people looking for the answer. Meditation is more and more difficult to do in the 21st century of the weirdo stresses. But at the same time, we've got tools and technologies from the 21st century that we've never had before, with levels of precision of what we can see is going on and what we can do about it. And the frustrating thing for me is that there needs to be a major effort of bringing all these tools and ancient technologies together in a new cutting edge science of awakening consciousness globally in the whole planet. But each person who does that personally changes everybody around them. Science and technology of using sound, which has stood the test of time in every culture as a primary tool for helping meditation, now can be scientifically refined with EEG pictures and heart rate variability pictures and precision of sound waves and brain entrainment, all in a new science of 21st century meditation that has a clear roadmap of how we can pursue this. That's the promise of this. For me, it's exciting. And new things are being discovered all the time about these different brain waves. I'm at the 22 different brain states. We didn't discuss them all.
I know that we have to have a couple. Maybe this might be a series on the PMC. I've had a lot of guests on, some amazing world shifting, disruptive technologies and leaders in so many different fields. But everyone out there, this is the Pyramid Meditation channel. And I'm just telling you from my own personal experience of 34 years of using sound technology and studying it, that there is no other work like what Dr. Thompson is doing. If we're going to sit down and do our meditation with our pyramid every single day or even once a week, wouldn't you like to get the most out of it? I mean, for your body, for your mind, for your spirit, That's the promise of what Scientific Sounds does. And so, Dr. Jeff, for right now, we're going to have to move on, but I want to say thank you again so much for honoring me and for honoring all of us. This is absolutely incredible. And I'm going to have all of the different links that you can click to find Dr. Jeff online down below in the description. Now, you have an opportunity. You can either just click to another video, or you can actually go down and look at what this is about. Your life will never be the same. I can guarantee you that. As a meditator, you will never have the same life if you use his technology. It can be no other way, because you have a brain, and when you do these things, you're going to have some amazing changes. And so let's merge these together and get the most we possibly can for ourselves and for everybody in the universe. And with that said, please make sure that you like, subscribe, ring the bell, comment on this episode and all the others on Pure Minds, Pure Energy, Enlightenment Sessions with Nate and PMC. Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to see you next time. Have a great now on purpose. Hey, my friends, what an incredible journey we've shared today. If you felt even a spark of inspiration or power, don't let it stop here. Take a moment to hit that like button, subscribe to this channel, and share this with someone who needs it. Seriously, think of just one person who could benefit from what you've experienced today, because together we're building something so much bigger than ourselves. This is more than a show. It's a movement, a space where leaders, visionaries, and seekers like you come to transform, elevate, and align. So don't just follow, become a part of the community. Subscribe to the PMC YouTube channel and follow the I Am Integrated Ascension method everywhere you can. And let's create something extraordinary together. I'm truly excited to share with you your next step to transformation. So head over to iampure.energy and sign up for my free Perfect Breath class. You'll unlock the secret to mastering your breath, your energy, and ultimately your life. And for those who are ready to go deeper, our masterclass and weekly sessions are waiting to take you to that next level. Make sure that you're here next week, because, as always, I'll be sitting down with another world-changing guest, someone who will blow your mind and give you tools to rise even higher. And don't come alone. Invite your friends, your team, or anyone who's ready to grow. And let's expand this circle of impact one breath at a time. Until then, remember, your potential is limitless. Your power is real, and it all begins with a single breath. Together, we're creating the future. I'll see you next time, my friend. Together we rise. See you soon.